Ego always seeks experience. Ego is the search for the new. You will meditate. And if you are only meditating for what? Just to get thrills. Because life has become boring, so you want to get new experience. You are fed up with the ordinary routine life, so you want to get some thrill. So you move to meditation. Ego is the greed for new experience. Ego always seeks new experience. And every experience will become old. Because whatsoever is new becomes old and then again. This is a process. Spirituality is not the search for experience really. Remember this. Ego is greed for new experience, and spirituality is search for one's own being. A spiritual journey means you are looking, you are searching your own being. A spirituality is not search for experience. It is search for one's own being, not for any experience, not even for bliss, not even for ecstasy, because experience is an outer phenomena, outer thing. Whatsoever is inner, howsoever inner is, it is outer. Whatsoever. Spirituality is the search for the being, the real being that is inside you. And then you are not seeking spirituality to have things around you fixed, your problems to be solved, problems with the family and with the world to be solved. No, it is not. It is the search for the real being that is inside you. I must know what my reality is. And unless this arises in you, spiritual journey has not begun. Spirituality is not the search for experience, not for any gain, not for any accolades, not even for bliss. It is the search for the real being that is inside you. And with that knowing, all greed for experiencing ceases. You do not bother if anyone likes you or not. If anyone likes your post that you post or message or not. And with that knowing, there is no urge. There is no urge to move for any new experience. With that knowing of the inner true reality, the authentic being, the old search ceases. With the knowing of the inner true reality, the authentic being that you are, all search ceases. So don't move for any experience. All experiences are just the tricks of the mind. All experiences are just tricks of the mind. I saw just now, before beginning this, a post. A post that reads, "Where will I find a man or a woman still looking for a man or a woman who has lost words?" Means implying that looking for a man or a woman who lost all words. Is it the beginning of inner journey? It is simply an ego trip. And you will get many accolades for it, many likes for this, and likes from those who know nothing. Mind seeks questions, never answers. So do not move for the experience. All experiences are tricks of the mind. All experiences are just escapes. Meditation is not an experience. Meditation is not an experience? What are you saying? Yes, what I am saying, I mean it. I know it. And you know not. You are entering into meditation because you are fed up with the world and everything. Meditation indeed is realization. Realization of your innerness. Realization of your authentic being. Meditation is not an experience, my friend. Meditation is not an experience, my friend. Rather, it is stopping all the process of experiencing. Because of this, those who have really tried to express the inner happening, for example, Buddha, they say, do not ask what happens there. Buddha was asked, what did you gain in enlightenment? He said, nothing. I lost everything. Because of this, that meditation is not an experience. No. It is a realization. It is the end of the process of experiencing. Experiencing revolves around the false identity, that is ego, your mind. Because of this, those who have really tried to express the inner happening, for example, Gautam the Buddha, they say, do not ask what happens there. Or, if you insist, they will say, nothing happens there really. What happens in meditation? Nothing happens really. You become more and more silent. जब दिल को नींद आ जाती है, when heart has fallen into a trance, फिर मैं ही अकेला होता हूँ, then I am all alone. I am all alone. और यार की महफिल होती है, and the company of that which cannot be defined. That is, but cannot be defined. Yar, the existence, the unknown, the unknowable. और यार की महफिल होती है. कल साहिल वालों से रो रो means those who are sahil means shore. Kal sahil, those who are standing on the shore. Those who have drowned in the oneness, those who have drowned in the inner ocean, were saying, Jo mauj duba de tufan ko, that Moj means a wave that drowns all the storms. That alone is the shore. That alone is the shore. If I say to you that nothing happens and nothing will happen in meditation, what will you do? You say, then what is the point in meditation? But everybody says that do the meditation, this problem will solve, that will solve. But I cannot tell you that. And if I say that, it doesn't matter to me whether you like this or not. I'll simply say nothing will happen in meditation. You will not gain this or that. For what you are coming to meditation will not happen. You will stop meditating. Doesn't matter to me whether you stop it or not. That's your own decision. If nothing is going to happen there, what is the use of this? We are utilitarian. That shows you are on an ego trip. If I say nothing happens there, and you will say, okay, I have known many happenings and I have known many experiences. Every day when I meditate, I get this experience and that experience. And then what happens? Every experience proved to be frustrating. You pass through it and then you know it was nothing. And then an urge to repeat. And then repetition also becomes boredom. Then you move to something else. This is how you have been moving for lives and lives. For thousands and thousands of lives, you have been moving for experience. Moving for experience on an ego trip. You say, I have known experiences. I have many experiences in life. Are you sensible? When you say that I have been, and what is the experience? Experience is an interaction between objects and beings through the organs of perception. Eyes, ears, nose. Through the eyes you see the form. Through the nose you smell something. Through the ears you hear something, a sound. And through the skin you touch. And when all these things interact with the objects in the world of objects and beings, you gain experience. And you call this process, this experience, as spiritual experience. You call this as a spiritual experience because the eyes open in the outer world, ears open in the outer world, the nostrils smell what is outside. Are you smelling the smell that does not smell? Are you seeing that which cannot be seen? Are you hearing that which cannot be heard? Are you touching that which cannot be heard? That is the innerness. The inner being that you are cannot be smelled, cannot be seen, cannot be heard, cannot be touched. Then how can that be an experience? If you find this is confusing, it is good that you will not bother me. You say that I have known experience. No, you don't know any new experience. No, I don't know any new experience. I want to know the experience. the whole emphasis changes. Experience is something outside you. It is the interaction between the organs of perception and objects and beings in the outer world. The experiencer is your being. There are three things: the experience, the experienced, that which you have to experience, that is the object, and that which connects the two, the subject and object. That is when a sentence is formed. A sentence in English is known as object, subject, and predicate. There is an object, there is a subject, and the interaction between the two, the object and subject, is experience. And this is the identification. The experiencer is your being, which is formless. It has no form, no name. And this is the distinction between true spirituality and false. What is experiencing? That which is formless. Can formless experience something? Without eyes, can you see? There is a particular, the songs, the couplets. Walks without feet, sees without eyes, hears without ears. This is the definition is given for your understanding for that which is. This, if you are for the experiencer, then it is true. If you are for experience, then it is false. But then you are not concerned with anything, the rising of energy, the kundalini, this or that. Not concerned about chakras, not concerned about all such nonsense. They will happen. But you are not concerned about it. You are not interested in this. And you will move on these by path. And you will not move on these by path. You will go on moving towards the inner center where nothing remains except you in your all aloneness. Only the consciousness remains, but you are not there. The emness is there, but I is not there. The you is not there. Is not I emness. It is not you emness. It is emness. Both I and you dissolve. I cannot exist without you. I is the way that you identify yourself, recognize yourself. Content, and what is the experience? Content that happens between object and subject is experience. Whatsoever you experience is the content. So you are interested in the content. I experience misery, then misery is the content of your consciousness. Consciousness is the pot. In that, whatever you cook, the pot is empty. Is your pot empty? Zen Master says, have you finished your last meals? Wash your pot. This is the koon. Is it meditation? Is it a sermon? When you are finished with the last meal, wash your pot. Mind is the container. And whatsoever is cooking inside is experience. And that experience is content. You are interested in looking into the pots. What is there in this pot? What is there in that pot? Why do you go into the kitchen? To see what is in this pot, what is in that pot, what I can take out from this, take out from that, mix it up in a plate and enjoy. This is how we are living. This is how we are living. So you say, I experience misery. Then misery is the content of your consciousness. Then you say, I experience pleasure. Then pleasure becomes the content of your consciousness. So your consciousness is not free from content. Then you experience boredom. Then boredom becomes the content. Then you can experience silence. I experience silence. A great peace. So that becomes the content of the consciousness. So is your consciousness free from content? Sometimes boredom is there. Like you have a pot and you go on cooking day by day. During one day, each day, the same pot is used for cooking several dishes, isn't it so? And for some time this pot has this content, then that content, but it is never free. When it is not free, it is always in use. It has never, have you ever experienced the emptiness of the pot? You become oblivious of it. You take out your pot to do something. Then pleasure becomes content. Then you experience boredom. Boredom becomes the content. Then you can experience silence. Silence becomes the content of the consciousness. Then you can experience bliss, and bliss becomes the content. So you go on changing the content whole day, whole life. Thousands and thousands years have passed. Lives after lives have passed. You go on changing the content of your consciousness. You can go on changing the content ad infinitum. But that is not the real thing, my friend. Certainly that is not the real thing, my friend. The real thing is the one whom this experience happens. Have you ever asked, how does the pot feels when this is cooked in that? When this content is there in it? When that content is there? What kind of nonsense is this? You are asking me to find out from the pot, how does the pot is feeling when this content is inside or that content is inside? Is this spirituality? Then you find your way elsewhere. This is the way I am. Or I operate not. This is the way emness is. The real is the one whom these experiences happen. To whom boredom happens? Do you know who feels bored? Do you feel who feels? Do you know who feels blissful? Do you know who feels silence? Do you know who feels all that? The spiritual search is for what happens. Not a spiritual experience is not what happens. To who it happens. Day after day, lives after lives, You go on cooking different things inside the pot, but you know nothing about the pot. You are interested in what happens, what is cooked inside. You are interested in what, not whom. Then there is no possibility. And if your search moves to from what happens to whom it happens, then the ego trip will not be there. There will be no possibility of ego to arise. You will not be bothered about experience. You are on a totally different journey, the inward journey. So enough for now.